This race has gone by several former names. The Italian Grand Prix, the San Marino Grand Prix, and now the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's race day. We're at Imola. Welcome. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, the owner driver, Leclerc, Perez, Gasly, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Albon, Button, Hulkenberg, Joe, Bottas, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Stroll, Sargent, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one.
Okay, here we go.
I am definitely feeling that. Hello everybody and welcome back to my F1 23 Equal Car Championship, and we are now at the feature race in Imola. Right, strategy. Now, 29 laps is the stint on mediums, so I'm thinking have the medium stint in the middle and go long, just because if we do get a safety car like we saw, or a potential red flag, I think running long in the middle protects us best from that. So we're going to make an early stop on lap 17 when the rest of the field pit. But actually I'm going to try and take that 1 or 2 laps longer. And then we have a shorter stint right at the end. So that's my plan. Run a little bit longer for the first stint. And then do a long second stint. And then hopefully a short run on softs to finish off. Alright, that's the plan for this race. Let's get it underway. 63 laps here at Imola. This is going to be a tough race. We might see a safety car. This track is quite challenging. It's quite tough to overtake on. But we are underway here in Imola, and it's a good start by us. It's a fantastic start by us. Straight through the middle and into the lead for turn one. And we are leading in the first corner of this race after starting fourth. What a start that was. That is the start of dreams right there. And I'm trying to go easy at this beginning. Leclerc moving up to second as well. It's not the best of starts for Verstappen, our championship leader. But, well, Hamilton and Verstappen are joint leaders. But for us, that was the start we needed. From fourth, straight through the middle into first. That couldn't have gone any better, really. And it's lap one, and we are leading the way. And you know what? It feels good to be leading on the first lap, but I need to be leading on the 63rd to really make this count. But here we are for now. P1, coming up to end the first lap. That is exactly where we want to be. And it was quite a good start as well. Like I said, we just went straight through the middle and took the lead that way. We went in between Verstappen and Hamilton. I think we jumped Sainz quite early on because Sainz, who started third, didn't get the best of starts. But that for us, that couldn't have been a better start. So now we need to try and pull out a gap to Leclerc He's not going to be as fast as, say, Hamilton or Verstappen will be, and he hasn't been through the course of the season, so this is our best chance to just try and get a little bit of a gap, to try and pull out from Leclerc, and then hopefully Hamilton and Verstappen will be fighting each other so much that we don't really get bothered too much. Long way to go yet, but so far so good. That is what the doctor ordered for this first lap, and we're pulling away from Leclerc now. We've got the gap up to 1.1 seconds, and the key thing is we have removed ourselves from any immediate DRS threat, which is the best thing we could have done at that start. Ending lap 2 then, across the line, and we set a fastest lap, predictably, because nobody else was anywhere near us that time. I think Hamilton's already getting ready to gear up a go on Leclerc. I think Hamilton has taken the place, but they're fighting each other, and look, they've dropped back to over 2 seconds behind. That is working. That, you know what? That is the best thing that could have happened for us there. Them two fighting each other gives us a bigger gap. And while they're battling each other, we're just driving away out front. It's just a Sunday afternoon cruise at this stage. Long way to go yet though. Still over 60 laps. Anything can happen. Don't rule it out. But this is everything that we need from this race so far. A bit hard on the curb there. We might want to try and be a bit gentler. We don't want to rip the floor off the car. But look at that. We're 3 seconds clear by the end of the third lap. That to me just shows that we have got some genuinely good pace in this race now. And Leclerc and Hamilton needs to get Leclerc now if he wants to have a chance at having a go. But he's not really... He hasn't really got Leclerc, has he? I mean, I think he's going to have a go this lap, but I think Hamilton does have him this time. Are they going to battle a bit more? No, I think Hamilton has his man now. So Lewis is up to second, but he's lost a bit more time getting it done, and he's now 3.7 behind. But he could gain yet, so long way to go. And Hamilton 3.6 behind. We're not entirely safe, but we're looking alright for now. We're looking pretty good. Obviously, if a safety car comes out, that does hurt us a little bit. But Hamilton is not getting clear of Leclerc, which is very interesting. I think Leclerc is staying with Hamilton, and that's making things very interesting in this race. And the more they fight, like I said, the more it helps us get away. Oh, sorry, I can't bring you exciting racing at the moment, but we've taken off and gone. But that is how you know a start. Leclerc is coming back at Hamilton. I think Leclerc has retaken second place. So they are fighting each other more than they're fighting me. And that's really just allowing me to cruise away out front. That they're all battling each other. And I'm just here like, well, thanks very much, guys. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. It's helping me out no end. This is going to be a very long... Now I know how it feels for Verstappen. It's going to be a very long race if nobody gets anywhere near us, that's for sure. But Leclerc is already 5 seconds down. And that's depressing for the guys behind, because they're going to be thinking, we want to get after Joe, but while they're racing each other, I'm disappearing off. Leclerc obviously wanting to do this for the Tifosi here. Again, anything could happen. We could have a safety car And that'll put me right back in the under threat again. So, rule nothing out at this stage. It's lap 6 of 63. We are going along nicely. And Leclerc and Hamilton don't fight each other that time. So Leclerc and Hamilton not fighting that lap, rather holding position. But we still have the race pace advantage at this stage. So this is working out very nicely for us. Well, as we're settling into the race and we've got a bit of a rhythm, let's talk F1. There are more and more whispers that Kimi Antonelli is going to be replacing Logan Sargent at some point this season. The latest rumour is that they're waiting for Kimi Antonelli to turn 18. And again, I'm going to be honest, if we're talking F2 alone, he hasn't really shown that he's F1 ready yet. Like I said, it's going to be the first F2 race at Imola this weekend, ironically, and so far he has. I mean, he could come to Imola and he could absolutely dominate, and then that's when I'm going to look silly. But at the moment, he just hasn't really shown any signs of being F1 ready. If I were Williams, I'd be thinking about holding on maybe to the end of the year and just seeing what Antonelli's performance is. Also, I think the idea of putting him straight to Mercedes is ludicrous. I think it's a plan that Mercedes have had, but I don't think it's the right one. Also, reportedly, Mercedes offered Verstappen 150 million to race with him. Now, I think Max is pretty embedded in Red Bull. I can't really see him leaving Red Bull for any reason, although given everything that is going on with the team, you might think that would be reason enough for him to consider leaving, but I don't know, I'm just not seeing any real reason that Verstappen should leave, other than 150 million extra in his pocket, but I don't know how much he cares about the money side of it. But coming back to this weekend, Ferrari are bringing upgrades. A lot of people are suggesting that Red Bull are too. So it's going to be interesting to see what gains, if any, Ferrari have made here. And it's also going to be interesting to see where McLaren placed both cars, with both cars having the upgrades from Imola onwards. As you know, Oscar Piastri in Miami only had half of them. And when you consider the job Piastri did in Miami with only half the upgrades, I'm very much looking forward to seeing where Oscar places here. But the one thing I've noticed with McLaren, as we go a bit deep there, is that McLaren tend to have better race pace than they do quali pace. So, over one lap, they seem to be the third best team. Third or fourth maybe, but when it comes to a full race distance and race pace, McLaren's pace is actually quite strong, so it's difficult to place them in the pecking order, but it's going to be interesting to see, I think. I think we're in for an interesting weekend, and I'm glad to have F2 back as well, because I've missed F2. And when it comes to F2, I make no secret of this. I really root for Ollie Behrman. I really like this young man, and I think he is going to be in F1 relatively soon. Next year, perhaps it is thought that he is going to be at Haas. I've seen, again, rumours suggesting that Ollie Behrman is to be announced for Haas any day now, and that Behrman's teammate in Haas is going to be Zhou Guanyu. I'm not sure how particularly true that last bit is. Speak of the devil! No way! Did we just curse at the commentator Zhou Guanyu at that moment? That is just spooky. That is really spooky. Right, well that's going to be in my dreams tonight. But yeah, it's thought that Zhou Guanyu is going to be announced for the second Haas seat, which begs the question: what's going to happen with Magnussen? Is he going to bail out again? And this is an interesting thing as well. Magnussen is on 10 penalty points, so 2 more and he gets a race ban. And again, Ollie Behrman, I think, would step in if Kevin Magnussen was to get a race ban.
Yellow flag.
And obviously he would be the first driver to have a race ban since 2012 when Roman Grosjean had a race ban. Okay, that got my heartbeat up a bit. I really thought the car was going round then. I really had to back out. And we've lost about a second because of that. But God, if that car had gone round, that would have been... Well, it wouldn't have been a complete disaster because we still got enough of a gap to second. But it would have been a bit of a wake-up call. I think it's a sign that I'm concentrating too much on talking F1 and not actually focusing on the race. But yes, Magnussen would be the first driver to get a race ban since Grosjean back in 2012 after his Turn 1 antics. And I think it was because of all that, everything that went on that season, that this system was introduced. And so far, no driver has really fallen foul of it. I think Gasly's come close to a race ban, although to be fair, at the end of that season I just think the stewards had it out for him. But Gasly's come close, as has, I believe, Verstappen nearly came close at one point. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, and obviously what Magnussen's doing this season, the way he's driving, well, his reasoning behind it is that he's playing the team game and sacrificing his race to help Hulkenberg get points. I think that's a bit cheeky how he is doing that though, forcing drivers off the track, pushing people wide, gaining penalty after penalty during the race, sacrificing his race, all the while Hulkenberg just drives off. That's very, very cheeky how that's happening. But of course, through doing that, Haas have amassed quite a few points. So it's a cheeky little tactic, but it is working for them. But as for whether Magnussen will be on the grid next season, that remains to be seen. I tell you what, the battle for second looks close. They're all pretty much second or fifth within a second of each other. And meanwhile, I'm 8.5 seconds up the road, just having a cruise. But, yeah, so that could happen. And it'd be nice to see Behrman get another drive this season. I don't think we've seen the last of him yet, and I really hope we see Ollie Behrman on the F1 grid next year. Another driver I'd like to see step up is a driver that I've been following since British F4. I actually had the pleasure of watching him race in person at a rain-soaked Brands Hatch where he took the British F4 title. And I was at that BTCC event that weekend. And, well, from what I remember of it, it just rained and rained and rained. And I got absolutely... My body temperature went down to a level so cold that even absolute zero doesn't describe it. Leclerc was 8.008 behind and it looked like it said boob. But anyway, wow, I'm so mature. But, yeah, I remember watching this driver in British F4 that weekend, and he took the championship and just basically bossed it. And his name is Zane Maloney. He had quite a good F3 campaign as well. I remember he took the last couple of wins on the trot, as I recall. And he's doing well so far this F2 season, right? Apologies for the pause, I needed to take a drink. It is really warm in the UK tonight. Half boob, says Tash. Yep, that's what it said. But, what was I discussing? Yeah, I'd like to see Zane Maloney in a car next season. But, obviously, Sauber, I think... Well, they've taken Hulkenberg for next year. And I think Carlos Sainz will get the other seat. It's a shame, because I really want to see Zane Maloney take that step up. I think he's a very good driver. I do think he's one of those, though, that doesn't get up to speed straight away. But when he gets up to speed, he's very difficult to slow down. And so far, his consistency this year in F2 has been nothing short of brilliant. Kush Miney has also impressed me in F2 this season. He's had very good one-lap pace. It hasn't quite translated into a race result yet, but he does strike me as being quite improved. And obviously it's nice to see Enzo Fittipaldi doing decently as well. I like him as well. As for F3, I honestly couldn't tell you who's winning at the moment. Oh, sorry. As for F3, I honestly couldn't tell you who's winning at the moment because I've forgotten half of what's happened in that series, but I'm looking forward to seeing that back again. And Leclerc and Hamilton just swap places once again. I'm surprised Verstappen hasn't got more involved in that battle, but there you go. We've got a very comfortable lead at this stage, and I'm trying to fill up this race with chatting about F1 as much as I can, because I'm aware that this isn't going to be the most exciting race you guys watch. But I tell you what, I do need a strong result here. I really need a strong result for the championships, for my championship's sake. So I'm literally doing everything that I need to do in that respect. I'm just surprised that I was able to take the lead by turn 1. I think if I'd have been P3, we might have had an interesting few laps, but I've taken the lead and I've just run with it. A few laps from my pit stop yet. I think the AI will be fitting soon. But, what's the comment? Most underrated driver on the grid, Tash asks. I don't really know, to be honest. Like, I think most of the drivers are quite fairly rated. It's difficult because I think Leclerc gets way too much way too many negative comments than he deserves. I don't think it's right that people talk so much crap about him. Like, every time he makes a mistake, you know, everyone's all over him. But funny enough, as soon as Sainz does it, it's like, everybody goes silent. So Leclerc, I think, at the moment is taking a bit too much negativity. If I was to think underrated, I'd probably say, I wouldn't even say Gasly, because he gets a lot of people speak highly of Gasly too. If we're talking overrated driver on the grid, I'd say Hulkenberg. I think Hulkenberg gets way too much hype than what he actually deserves. But in terms of underrated, I mean, Sainz as well is quite underrated, because although he normally is on pace a little bit behind Leclerc, I think at his best he can match Leclerc, and Leclerc is championship quality. So in my opinion, Leclerc is championship quality and has all the potential to win it. At the moment, I'd say Lando Norris. I think a lot of people haven't rated him fairly, given that it's taken him this long to get his first win. And I don't think that's entirely through fault of his own. Obviously, if we go back to Russia 2021, where he led the race and didn't win it because of not pitting him for wets, I think that was a bit silly. But that was an easy mistake to make. But I think, yeah, I'm going to go with Lando Norris. I think Lando is very underrated, and I think a lot of fans don't quite realise how good he actually is. So I'm going to say Lando Norris.
We're approaching the pit window, and you're going to be on
We're
mediums.
approaching the pit window now. I'm also going to say, well, I don't want to say Lance Stroll, because I wouldn't say he's underrated, but I'd say he gets way too much hate, and that's the second time I've done that, and I'm really worried I was going to rip the underbody off the car then. Thankfully, that's not happened. Yeah, I'd say Stroll gets way too much hate. Maybe I don't think he... I think he's a very skilled driver, and, you know, he's got results in the junior categories to back it up. Do I think that he is a F1 champion potential? No. But I think if he was to move over to, say, IndyCar, I think he would do well there. So I'm just going to say Lando Norris. Because I think he is every bit as good as, say, Leclerc, who, again, I've said is championship quality, in my opinion. I also think Piastri deserves a little bit more recognition. I mean, he's not really been there this season, but again, take nothing away from him in the early stages of Miami. He was second for the most part of that race, and he wasn't lapping that much slower than Verstappen. So that in itself was a pretty incredible feat when you think about it. So yeah.
Jensen's coming in for his stop now.
And he didn't even have all the upgrades on that McLaren, so it'll be interesting again to see where he is. So yeah, I'd say the McLaren drivers, and I think McLaren have one of the strongest lineups on the grid, and I think in seasons to come, if they keep that lineup, that is going to be a lineup to reckon with. So what else do we know about next season? Well, Audi obviously are looking for another driver. Carlos Sainz, I think, will be the driver that goes there. As for Mercedes, I really don't know. Like, it really could go either way, because they could end up taking Carlos Sainz themselves, but I don't think they will. I think Mercedes are in a really difficult spot here. Like, if they're not able to grab someone of Verstappen quality, or like a Verstappen or Hamilton quality, should I say, then they're really not going to come out of this looking good. I mean, my instinct would say, if it's going to be anyone that isn't Carlos Sainz or, let's rule this out now, Kimi Antonelli, because that would just be ridiculous, I would hazard a guess that it'll be Alex Albon. They'll take Albon from Williams. So, that's a theory I have. People have also suggested Mick Schumacher, but I don't think Mick Schumacher would, again, go to Mercedes. Plus, I think Mick Schumacher is making himself at home at World Endurance. Other names do suggest themselves, again, like, would Aston Martin loan out Felipe Drugovich, but then why would they take a chance on a rookie? The one thing that has the one driver that is guaranteed not to be moving is Fernando Alonso. He's extended his contract, so Alonso, who is a driver I would have thought might chance Mercedes, is staying put. Right, first pit stop. Oh, we've really got to conserve fuel here. That's one thing I didn't think about at the start of this race, so that might bite me in the arse later.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice.
So Leclerc goes into the lead. Albon goes into second. So they're running quite long. God, imagine we get a red flag now.
Up to speed now.
What kind of top three would that be? Right, okay, so let's... Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race, but he's going to have Magnussen to deal with. Let's just keep an eye on the fuel and how much it dips throughout the course of the lap. But we're in third, but we're still net leading. I'm surprised Leclerc is staying out that long. So the race is starting to get interesting now, especially with us needing to do a bit of lifting and coasting for a while. We know Lewis Hamilton is moving to Ferrari, and the interesting topic there is who is going to be the #1 driver at Ferrari. Ooh, that was a hard patch of the curb. Because obviously you've got to think Ferrari have put a lot into Leclerc, and obviously Leclerc being the future of the team. But in the same respect, they have just signed Lewis Hamilton, and he is hungrier than ever for World Championship #8. The one that he feels was stolen from him. And a lot of fans, I think, feel the same way as well, that Lewis was robbed of his 8th. It's a topic that I'm not going to touch with a 10-foot barge pole, but there's a lot of opinions out there. Right, Leclerc is leading, Albon is second. So Leclerc and Albon both going really long, as is Logan Sargent, and Verstappen is also closing down.
Behind is 6.0 seconds.
Now would be a really bad time for a red flag, I'm just saying. Let's not invoke the Zhou Guan Yu jinx. That was weird, wasn't it? Right, so we are lifting and coasting for a bit here. We're still leading the way. Verstappen is going to be charging at us though. It's lap 21 here at Imola, and they still don't pit. That is interesting. So Leclerc and Albon still deciding to stay out, and Logan Sargent as well, not pitting just yet. So Logan Sargent feels like the best way is to stay out and run long. There are some interesting strategies that are coming into play here, aren't there? So this is going to be interesting how it all works out into the Grand Prix, because they are running very long, especially when you consider they're on soft tyres. So I wonder what the strategy is there. Lap 22 out of 63 here in Imola. We're just over a third distance, and I think that I'm managing the fuel quite well here, because I'm not losing time while doing it. And actually with Verstappen behind Sargent, that does give me a bit of a buffer. Right, are they pitting this lap is the question. Look how much time Verstappen has lost to Sargent. Thank you, Logan. And no, still no sign that anybody is considering pitting yet. So Leclerc staying out long. Ferrari strategy at it again, playing a bit of a fast one. Not quite sure what this is about, as Verstappen is past Logan Sargent now, so Verstappen should start cruising up to the back of us here. But I tell you what, when we get to the end of the lap, we might just have a bit of DRS from Alex Albon. Logan Sargent still in the top 5. So whatever strategy they're running, it has involved them going 6 laps longer than the most part of the other drivers here at Imola. Interesting. But we're now right behind Alex Albon, and the one thing I don't want to do here is lose too much time behind the Williams. This is where the DRS point is, and we're going to get a nice bit of DRS. that's going to help us get past him if he doesn't pit. But surely he does. No, he doesn't. Albon not pitting again. So there is some very strange strategies at work here at Imola. But we've been able to get past Albon, up in second place. And now we can start pressuring our race leader, Charles Leclerc. And the Tifosi will be going wild at this point. But a lot of other people will be questioning Ferrari's strategy, thinking, guys, what are you doing? So I thought it'd be a pretty... It's not actually turned out to the dull race that I thought it'd end up being. This is actually quite interesting now to see what strategies these guys are running. But Leclerc is going to now end up being a pit stop behind us. And Sargent is actually backing things up as well. So but Leclerc's going to be very quick on whatever tyres he goes on. And I'm not attacking him here. Because what I'm going to get is a nice bit of DRS for not passing him. But I think we are going to pass him into the left-hander here. We've got a nice little run. Down the inside of Charles Leclerc we go. And resume the race lead. And we're going to have a bit of DRS. Courtesy of Charles Leclerc. Thank you. They still don't pit. Are you as confused as I am? Because I am really confused. That is a very strange strategy that Ferrari are deploying. Because I'll be honest, right now, in terms of strategy, he's in no man's land. There is no... See, if he's two-stopping this race, like I said, he's in no man's land now, so if he does pit, he's lost a lot of time that he's going to have to make up, but he is going to be super quick at this side of the stint. The other thing is that though he is going to be super quick, he would have lost a lot of time, and he's going to be out of sync and potentially quite down the field. So I'm not sure what they're doing with him. Sargent hasn't pitted yet either, as best as I know, so... Well, we're coming up to complete lap 25. We're now 25 laps into this race, and they still don't pit. Right, okay. So maybe they are going for a one-stop. But if that's the case, why? Also, Verstappen's pace is now slower than ours, even though we are lifting and coasting a bit, so we are quite comfortable where we are at this stage. But this is bizarre. This is really bizarre. So we're leading the race by Leclerc and Albon, but they've yet to stop. But it's given us a little bit of on-track action. We've had to overtake them. But other than that, we're now straight back in the lead, and we're just, once again, running our own race. And once again, they don't pit. Excuse me, chaps. Apologies, again I had to take a drink. It's very warm in this flat, it's very warm in the UK. I'm trying to figure out what Ferrari are doing. Are they trying to one-stop? If they are, if both those drivers are one-stopping, I'm going to love that, because that then means that Verstappen's got to fight on for second. I could really do with Verstappen not finishing second in this Grand Prix. In terms of us gaining in the championship. Long way to go yet in this race. We're still not even half distance. I think I've filled up what has been, I'm going to be honest, not the most exciting race in the world. I think I've filled up chatting about F1 quite well. Right, do Leclerc and Star Albon pit this lap? No, they don't.
Okay, so we're leaving our teammate by 26.4 seconds.
I mean, surely they're going to puncture. They must be nearing puncture territory now because those tyres have been on since the start of the race. 27 laps on softs. That is asking a lot of them. But they've obviously made them last quite well. But at the same time, I just can't help but think, what is the strategy here? I mean, mine is just to keep the car pointing in the right direction. We've essentially checked out. I mean, our nearest rival, realistically, is Verstappen, and he's 13.5 seconds behind us, so he's not really a threat to us in this Grand Prix, and we're lifting and coasting as well, so we're not really giving it full beans, which, if I was, I think there'd definitely be a bit more pace in this car, so this is a very encouraging Grand Prix so far, and still Leclerc and Albon don't pit. But Verstappen is now catching Albon. Surely he'll be past Alex at the end of this lap, and then he's going to set his sights on Leclerc. Don't forget, Albon finished second in Miami. It was a very strong finish for him, and Miami was a very weird Grand Prix in itself. If you've enjoyed this championship, there is one more season that I'm putting together. It's called the Nighttime Championship. And again, sprint and race, albeit racing over very different distances. I'm thinking of doing that though. Either that or a 5th season of career mode. I haven't decided yet. It might go to 5th season of career mode though instead, but I've enjoyed the Sequel Car Championship. I'd love to bring it back on the 24 game and do some different circuits. Again, I just completely randomised the circuits I did, and as I'm talking about that, Verstappen has got past Albon, and now he's going to set his sights on Leclerc, who is a long way behind us now. I'm not sure how their strategy is benefiting them anymore. I don't think their strategy is working / going to work. I think their strategy is biting them in the arse here, and I'm amazed that Ferrari haven't looked at this and thought, right, okay, let's bring him in. Unless, like I said, it's a one-stop strategy, in which case this could work. I mean, we're already on lap 30. Guys, they've taken soft tyres 30 laps. That is pretty impressive, however you dress it up. I mean, they're going to be a bit knackered. Oh, Leclerc and Albon are finally in the pits. I tell you what, I'm going to mosey at the race director in a... Oh, hards, right, okay. I was going to say, I'm going to mosey at the race director to see what tyres they go for. They've gone for hards, so Leclerc is going to the end. Race director, what about Albon? Where is Albon? No, he's gone for hards too, so he's doing the same thing. And I believe also doing that strategy is Pierre Gasly. Piastri is doing it as well, as too is Logan Sargent. So we have got one-stoppers here who are surely going to the end now from this stage. So let's watch out for fastest laps and everything and see what their pace is at this stage. That could be interesting. Don't forget Verstappen will still have a stop to make, as will Sainz, Hamilton and Alonso. Hamilton down in P4, so it's good news for us that one of the championship contenders isn't doing quite so well, but Verstappen is having quite a good race. Right. I'm going to have a bit of a push lap here and just see what lap time we can do and see if a fastest lap attempt is possible. Haven't had a push lap in a while. Let's go for it. Let's see what we got. Also, it'll give me an idea to what fuel I'm using when I have push laps. It's not where I wanted to put the car, but we'll do for now. Hamilton obviously has the fastest lap. The one thing I could always do is near the end, if I have enough of a gap, I could always pit and go for a fastest lap. Something I could definitely consider. It's red sectors so far. And very rough go over the curves, but we've pulled away from Verstappen by over a second this lap. So I think that just asserts the fact that the race pace is with me here. We've just done a 1 minute 20.3, so that's only about half a second quicker than what we were doing. So given that we were lifting and coasting, our pace wasn't actually that bad, and our pace is actually quite decent. So we're 17.5 head of max now, so I think a few more seconds and we'll be a pit stop clear of him. And we're actually coming up to lap a couple of drivers here. Haven't had that in a while. Not since Austria. Cough, cough, Alonso. I see you there in 5th. I was trying to lap you in Austria, but you gave me a headache trying to do that. Oh, that feels like ages ago now. Oh, okay, so we've made our first real mistake of the race then. Yep, corner cutting. I know. I'm a naughty boy. On lap 33 now. What pit lane? That 48 is my final pit stop. I haven't seen anything come up saying Leclerc or Albon fastest lap, so I don't think their particular strategy is working out for them, because I haven't seen it come up with that. And there are the two cars that will come up to lap. I believe one of them is going to be Lance Stroll. I'm pretty sure one of them is going to be Stroll. And I think the other one might be Sargent or Hulkenberg. So, having said that, I haven't seen Magnussen anywhere in this race. But Hulkenberg is on the hard tyres, which is what makes me think him. I'm also thinking that those that are on the hard tyres aren't lapping particularly quick right now. Oh, Okay, that's not the circuit. What else is going on in the world of F1 at the moment? Well, the new game is about to come out. We are literally a couple of weeks from that coming out, and I, for one, cannot wait to play it. I'm going to reveal to you, actually, that I'm doing career mode very differently to what I have done on this game. So, where I went straight into my team, and I have done in the last couple of games, it's not happening with this game. This game, we are going to do driver career mode first, and Verstappen pits. That's an early stop by Max. Oh no, they're all pitting. Right, okay, so the other drivers are now pitting to take on the medium tyre to go to the end.
Jensen is in the pits. Jensen in the pits.
I'm not seeing a Leclerc. Piastri's got ahead of Leclerc. Right, okay. Piastri is now ahead of Leclerc. They're all on hards. They're going to the end, so no real threat to me here. I was going to say, yes, I am doing driver career mode for the first time because of the radical change, because of the change-ups they've made to the career mode for F1 24. I haven't heard anything to do with my team, so we are going to be doing a driver career mode series where I start in F2, and that's going to be an interesting touch there to play in F2 as we lap Esteban Ocon, and I'm very much looking forward to that, because that's just going to be something a bit different, and it's going to give you guys something a bit different as Leclerc is catching Piastri, and I think those guys are having their own battle. I should say that I do have a 36-second gap, but that's because I haven't made my second pit stop yet. So don't look at that gap and think alarming thoughts. I just haven't pitted in for the second time yet. Right. So Piastri's pitted. I thought the hards were going to the end. That throws a spanner in that. That's a very weird call. Verstappen is right behind the guys on hards again, so that's actually going to slow down him catching me and allow me to run this strategy. Although we do have Esteban Ocon on fresh tyres right behind me. And the one thing that is worrying me is the Brazil situation. You know what I mean. Where a faster car unlaps himself. Ocon trying to there. But no, not going to let him through. But yes, I'll be doing a driver career mode where I start in F2. And I'm also going to be doing a legend season, which is where I play as a legend and do a season like this in equal cars, but I play as a legend. Like, so I'll play as like Mansell or Schumacher, because that is a new feature for the game that you can do. So I'm really excited to be bringing you that particular content too. But yes, the main career mode will be a driver career mode to start with, but I will be starting in F2 as well and building my way into F1. And then after a few seasons of that, I think I will launch a My Team career mode. There still will be My Team, it'll just be coming later. It won't be the first career mode I do. And like I said, I'll be starting in F2 for it, which is very different to what I have done. And I think it also will set me apart from the other creators out there who mostly go straight into F1. So I think as well as, you know, as well as feeling like I'm working my way to F1, it'll set me apart from the other creators, and I'm looking forward to doing that. But yes, I will be doing a Legend season where I do an Equal Car Championship. And that's how I'll do an Equal Car Championship, but I'll do it as, like, say, Schumacher or Mansell or someone. I haven't decided yet. But, yeah, that'll be happening, and I'm excited to be doing that. I'm also excited to see and play through the changes in the driver career mode and bring those to you as I witness them, as I play through it. So, I'm really excited to do that. And it's not long now until the game is out. Right, I've got 10 more laps on these tyres. Verstappen is edging, isn't he? He's starting to bring himself closer. He's not really in the fight. And Ocon is right behind me. I really don't want him to take me out here. Ocon, do you mind? You're a lap behind. Hey Brady, what's up? Thank you for joining. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a good evening. I'm at the moment, I do apologise for the graphicness of this, but I am racing while drowning in my own sweat. If you are still watching, people, do make yourselves known. Don't be shy in the chat. I'm not. I don't bite unless you want me to. I mean, I don't bite anyway. I have a partner. I can't be doing that shit. Sorry. Right, Ocon, can you kindly get off my arse? Only I can bite, says Tash. I know! I did say myself. Right, Ocon, oh my god, Ocon's having a go. Ocon's having a go. Right, this is quite worrying because, again, this is reminding me of Brazil 2018, where Verstappen was leading. Ocon tried to unlap himself and ended up colliding with Verstappen and spinning him out. Why can't we see something like that this season? But, yeah, we had that happen, so I don't want him to do the same to me. Verstappen is setting fastest lap after fastest lap. That is not good for us, especially as I'm still just doing a little bit of lifting and coasting. And we still got a little way to go before we make our pit stop. But I think the lead that we've built up is going to actually act as a protecting us a little bit here. As Piastri now sets the fastest lap of the race on 1:19.2. That's actually a really good lap by Oscar there. Where is Ocon? He's not that close behind me anymore, so I had a brief relief from Ocon. The Piastri, God knows what strategy he's on, but he's set a fastest lap and he's going quite quickly. And I think Leclerc and Verstappen is going to be past Leclerc. I think Max is very safe for P2 in this race, and I really don't think Leclerc's strategy has worked out for him at all. I tell you what, Ocon, a driver whose strategy isn't working out for him, is that of Esteban Ocon. His strategy is making him very miserable at the moment, but it's also making me very miserable because he's right up my backside and I'm getting Brazil 2018 flashbacks running through my head. The thing is, I'm having to use overtake on this straight just to try and keep him behind. Still 7 laps to go till my pit stop. And I'll look forward to being on soft tyres because I can just give it all then. And actually, that's a nice bit of lifting and coasting there. I'm doing that because my fuel was quite low at one point. My fuel right now is fine. But yeah, driver career mode content coming on F124. Cannot wait to get started on that. And also an equal car championship, but driving as a legend. So keep up for that. Keep your eye out for that too. So we got 21 laps to go here. I'm pitting on lap 48. Ocon is all over my rear and I just can't get a shot of him. And I'm really worried that we're going to have a situation akin to Brazil 2018. I have thought about letting him go, but then he'll just get the blue flag, so I don't know. I'll let him go on the... If he tries to come past me, I'm not going to stop him. There's no point fighting him. Here he goes. To anybody who has just joined me, thank you so much for joining. Please leave a like and hit subscribe if you are new and you want to see more content from me. But in the meantime, thank you for joining in. I hope you're enjoying the stream and I hope you're enjoying listening to me waffle on while I'm absolutely dominating this race. It's not the most exciting race of this season. If you want to watch the most exciting one I've done of this particular championship, I believe that'd be Qatar. There's a lot of plot twists in that race, leading up to a massive plot twist at the end. I'd also say Silverstone as well. That was a great race and a great finish too. Verstappen is catching. What is the time loss round Imola? I'm wondering, because I don't want to lose too much time. Leclerc and Albon are now being caught up by Hamilton. I think we've seen the last of the pit stops in this race. See, I let Ocon through, but now he's right behind. But then he let me back through, and now he's right behind me again. Like, I genuinely thought Ocon was quicker at that stage, but he's just let me back through again. I mean, I think I've ruined his entire afternoon here, but I don't know what more I'm supposed to do. We've got 4 laps till our pit stop. He's going to go to the inside here. No, he isn't. I think he's going to try and do it on the straight. That seems to be where he's gone for it. And Ocon not really getting close enough to have that go. He's just sat behind me now. The gap to Verstappen is 33 seconds, but obviously we've got to make a second pit stop. Although I am questioning whether these would go to the end. 40%, they've been on since lap 19. I've done, what, 26 laps on them with 18 to go. It could work. But then again, at the same time, if we get a safety car, I'll have to pit anyway, otherwise I'll just be a sitting duck. I think I'll take on the softs anyway, just because, yeah, there's no point risking it, but this has been a very commanding race, and it's been, so far, a race I've needed to have.
Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs.
Here comes Ocon again. I'm not going to fight him. I'm just going to let him go. But the thing is, he's going to let me back through as soon as we get halfway around the lap. So I just don't... I mean, I think he's faster anyway, but... It was a bad idea. See, look, he's got the blue flag. But he was pulling away from me, and now he's had to let me back through again.
There's a new strategy available on the MFD.
What's your strategy?
Confirmed.
46. Nah, I think we're fine. Why are you suggesting me to pit this lap, though? Have I hit anything? No, and the tyres aren't looking particularly bad. I'm going to ignore that. Because I'm only 2 laps away from a pit stop. Apologies again, I needed to take a drink. But look, there's Ocon again, he's behind me. We're 2 laps away from the pit stop. So I'm in my pit window now because I clicked confirm on the wrong thing like an idiot. But I will be pitting next lap, not this lap. And we've actually done some pretty efficient fuel saving here. I don't know what that's telling me. I get it, my tyres are a little bit warm. I have had them on for 29 laps nearly, so of course they're going to be looking a bit worse for wear. I've just received a comment in the chat. I'll have a look at that when I pit. Or in the straight. I'll have a proper read when I pit. But I'll be pitting this lap, so... you haven't got long to wait. Ocon's going for it again, and... well, that was a bit dangerous. Nearly wiping me out of the Grand Prix itself, but... okay, Esteban, you do you. Right, lap 48. Again, Ocon gets the blue flag. I don't see what the point is. Right, we're going to be pitting at the end of this lap, and I will be taking on the soft tyres to go to the end. So in we come. Let's get a read of that comment. Got to quench that first for Natasha, I see. Nothing can quench that, Brady. Nothing can quench that.
Right, let's go. Come on. That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting.
Right, that's a very good pit stop. And now we've got a 15-lap run to the finish. We should be out in the lead.
Okay,
We
stay
are
clear of
out
the
in
white
the
line
lead.
exit. You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross
But I
onto the
think the
track.
lead will be significantly lower than what it was. Yeah, 3.5 seconds. So Verstappen gained 14 seconds on me there just by having better tyres. Lando Norris is out of the race. That's unfortunate. Norris is out. That's a shame. Tasha's just commented with 3 skulls. You know what, chat? Have fun. Oh, I'm going a bit deep there, but... Right. We should be able now to have a straight run to the end. We're on soft tyres. I tell you what, the grip is feeling incredible. And we've not got long to go. I was a little bit worried that we'd see the safety car out for Lando Norris. But he's got that parked up quite nicely. And now I'm going fastest lap. I want that fastest lap. If I'm going to win this race, I'm taking the fastest lap point with it too. Let's go. What have we got in the tank? I'm also surprised at how close Leclerc and Albon ended up being to us. I'm also surprised that Hamilton hasn't caught them by more than he has. That was pretty good through there. I was a little bit worried we were going to go round, but no such drama. We're keeping it on the road nicely, going up the hill. This left-hander is a bit difficult to spot, but we spotted the apex perfectly. Let it run wide. Here we come then into Aqua Minerale. Giving it everything I've got and a bit more. Using that curb. Now this curb, just give it a bit of a monster as we hit it. Bang, 1 curb, 2. It's not really done me any damage. And now we're heading towards the final 2 left-handers. And this should be quite comfortably a fastest lap. As we head out the left. Foot down. What do we do? Wow! Piastri, when he did a fast lap, did a 1:19.2. We've just done a 1:17.8. Surely that is going to remain the fastest lap now for the rest of this Grand Prix that has 13 laps left to run. And it has just been sheer domination throughout the entire race. Nobody has been anywhere near us. We did have a bit of racing when we fell behind Leclerc and Albon, who were running their alternate strategy, and we did have to overtake them. But since then, we've not really seen anyone. It's just been me by myself, just driving this Grand Prix. And that is a very nice fastest lap. And we've now got nearly 9 seconds to Verstappen, so if he did have any thoughts of potentially coming back after us towards the end of this one, forget it, mate. We have you covered. And we set a purple final sector as well, so we nailed that final sector better than our push lap. What's that comment say? Yes, Joe, you dominate that race. Oh, I will dominate it hard, don't you worry.
gap to your teammate behind is 32.6 seconds.
I forgot to turn my mic back on. I turned it off for a moment and I forgot to turn it back on. I do apologise. I've been talking to you for the last bit. I don't know. Did you hear me reply to Brady? Did anyone hear me reply to Brady's comment of "you dominate that race"? If not, I will reread the comments because I've been chatting for the last couple of laps and my mic has been muted. But I was also going to say, I'm also saying, you know what, anyone that's in the chat, let's have a bit of a Q&A. So, if you're there, what does it say? Haha, what you like sometimes. Yes, Joe, you dominate that race. Yeah, okay, yeah, I've answered that one. Tash said, unleash your inner Max, and I say, I think I did unleash my inner Max in this race. I haven't really been under threat all Grand Prix. I've just been sat here talking crap for most of it, and I hope, you know, it's been somewhat entertaining for you guys, because it's been entertaining for me, but I hope you guys have found it somewhat entertaining. But yeah, let's have a Q&A right now, chat. So I want to ask me questions, I'll answer them. Let's have a bit of fun as I bring this car home towards the end of the Grand Prix. Most underrated driver overall. Oh my gosh, right, okay. That, now you're getting into the deep end of F1 questions. I'd probably say Mika Hakkinen. Like, even though he was quite fairly highly rated as a two-time world champion, you gotta think, when he won his championships, he beat Michael Schumacher, which is no easy feat, so I think Hakkinen's fairly underrated in that aspect. Also, Jim Clark, very underrated. Jim Clark was incredible. And, I mean, in terms of drivers that have kind of fallen under the radar, I'm also going to say Pascal Wehrlein didn't get a fair chance in F1. Even though some of the drives he put in were phenomenal, he was treated quite unfairly. Obviously now he's in Formula E doing really well there, but I still think Pascal Wehrlein could have done more in F1 if he was given the chance. Okay, that's a bit of a mistake, but we'll get away with that. I also think Montoya was fairly underrated. What does that comment say? What's one of your favourite moments when watching F1? Right, okay. I got a few favourite moments in F1. So this is going back to my childhood here.
Okay, so leading our teammate by
Back in the day,
14.2 seconds.
it's no secret that I was the biggest Michael Schumacher fanboy. So this is probably one of my favourite memories of all time. I will list a couple more in a minute, but I was 13 years old. I've been supporting Schumacher since I first started watching F1, which was in the mid-90s, but I'd never seen him win a championship, so I joined after he won in 1995. What year did I start? I started watching in 98, and Schumacher was my driver. Absolutely idolised him, and yeah, 98 obviously. It went to the wire, but there was a puncture. He had a puncture, and I think even without that, Hakkinen had that in the bag. 99, obviously, he broke his leg. 2000, he had a chance to win the championship in Suzuka. Bearing in mind, I had to get up at 4 a.m. for this race. I was 13 years old, and my nan, God rest her soul, because she knew how much this race meant to me and how much I was hoping for Schumacher to clinch it, she got up with me and watched the race with me. And, you know, she was cheering Schumacher on with me. When he got ahead in that second pit stop, you know, we both had a cheer. And then it was just a matter of waiting and hoping that he'd cross the line, clinching the championship. And when he did, it was such an outpouring of emotion from us both, and the fact that, you know, I had that moment to share with my nan, that means the absolute world to me, and that always will mean the world to me. So yeah, that's one of my favourite memories for that reason, and also because I got to witness my driver win his third world championship, and the first time that I'd got to witness it, and I was absolutely overjoyed at that. And then hearing his team radio, oh, that was a moment. But if we're talking for non-sentimental reasons, I'm going to say, I mean, we're going to talk about the era I've been watching F1 because these are the ones I remember, but watching Kobayashi get third in Japan as well, and hearing that crowd just chanting, Kamui, Kamui, oh, I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps and chills. Watching Gasly get second in Toro Rosso at the Brazilian Grand Prix was pretty special as well. Especially when you consider that year, you know, he'd been demoted by Red Bull, sent to Toro Rosso, and he'd, you know, it'd just been a rough year for him. To see him get that second place, that was just mighty. And then several months later, him taking his first win at Monza, that was special. The driver I support is Leclerc, so seeing him win at Monza, that was a pretty special memory. He won in Spa! He wins in Monza! Yeah, that. Also, Jenson Button's drive in the Canadian Grand Prix in 2011. Witnessing that was something special. One of the greatest races of all time. The 99 European Grand Prix, in my mind, the greatest race of all time that I've seen. Obviously, seeing Schumacher get his championship, seeing Jenson Button as well. Seeing Jenson Button finally get his championship in 2009. And obviously, I guess, getting to witness Lewis Hamilton achieve greatness himself. And the fact that, you know, I've had the privilege of watching great drivers succeed, such as Michael Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton, and now Max Verstappen. It's been a privilege, so yeah, we're going to go with that. But those are some of my favourite memories in watching F1. Thank you very much for the question. We're now 3 laps to go. I realise I've waffled on about that for 3 laps now, but we're near the end of the race. And also something that's happened that I've only just noticed, Alex Albon has taken 3rd. He is on for his 2nd podium in a row here. So Albon having a brilliant end as we got back markers fighting. That's Ocon. So I'm going to have to get past Ocon. And I think that's Tsunoda ahead of him as well. And everybody's spamming hot. Right, Tsunoda, please get out of my way. Now the question is, do I pit again and go for a fastest lap? I think that would be an unnecessary risk and I would lose the lead to Verstappen. I'm not going to do it. So we're approaching the end of this race now, just 2 laps to go after this one. And I'll be honest, it's just been a race that I've absolutely owned. We haven't really been under threat from anybody. And if I want to think about a moment that decided this race, it's got to be the start. But I think even if at the start I hadn't gone from 4th to 1st straight away, I think inevitably I would have taken the lead. I think with the pace that we've had here, I think I inevitably would have got past and into the lead. So it would have been a case of while they're all fighting each other, I would have got my way through. "25 seconds separates myself and Verstappen as we head on the final stage of this Grand Prix. And I think that just shows the pace we've had, and I think that right there is proof that ultimately we've had the pace today. So tell you what, there's some late drama here. Hamilton has got past Leclerc. He might even be able to get past Albon if he gets close enough. That's going to be a shame. Albon was looking good for a podium there. I think Leclerc might have a problem though. I think Leclerc may be nursing some kind of issue. Right, we're starting the final lap of this Imola Grand Prix, and what a drive it's been. We haven't seen a car in front of us for the vast majority of the race. What does that say? That's me off to bed, but in all seriousness, keep up the good work and ignore them haters. Keep being your fabulous self and peace out. Night, Brady. Thank you for joining in. It's been great to have you with us. It is the last lap, so I'm pretty sure you won't miss any last minute drama, and this should be a straight run to me taking this win. She'll be the 3rd of the season and the 1st win since Austria. It's been such a long time since I've won a race, but finally we're back on track here, and I think Hamilton's going to be past Albon. Yeah, Hamilton is past. That's such a shame. Albon was on for a 2nd podium in a row here, but 4th is still a very good result. But in terms of damage limitation, it does mean that Hamilton gets a good haul of points as well, and we don't gain that many on him. But whatever, we still needed a race win here, and we're about to achieve that. We've got 2 corners left of this Grand Prix to go. Verstappen is pushing hard, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get him a fastest lap or anything. We then take the win here in Imola, our 3rd of this championship. Finally!
That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
A hard-fought win today then, after a very difficult race. Anthony Davidson. How do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way onto the podium now.
Well, that was quite long, really, but
Day of racing. Who was your driver of the day, Ant?
you know, we made that look quite easy. It weren't as easy as it looked, but that is the end of this Grand Prix. So we are the winner here. Verstappen getting second place, Hamilton getting third, keeping themselves in the championship fight very nicely and making sure that we can't take too many points out of them. Alex Albon then a stunning drive to finish fourth. He looked set for a podium there, but Lewis took it from him at the end. Leclerc gets fifth, Sainz gets sixth, Alonso gets seventh, Jenson Button, our teammate, good drive in eighth. Gasly and Russell round out your top 10. So this is what it does for the championship. We're now 15 points behind, and Verstappen is 3 clear of Max. But those 26 points here have done us the world of good in this fight. And it was looking... I was looking a bit... I was getting a bit worried going into this one that we might struggle here, but that really hasn't been the case. I mean, like I said, we just dominated that race from the start. We pitted in, we went behind Leclerc and Albon, who were running their own strategies at that point, and we had to overtake them. But other than that, nobody was anywhere near us. We won by over 20 seconds. The car felt incredible, and that's a very positive race. And in the Constructors' Championship, we moved back ahead of Ferrari into 4th place. Now we can start eyeing McLaren, but I think the front 2 positions now are pretty locked. But can we grab 3rd in the Constructors? That remains to be seen, and some very strong points for Williams as well. Where is Albon in the standings? He's 13th. We got 2 races to go then. Can we pull this back and clinch this championship? Here's hoping. I'm going to find out what the next race is for you, and it's going to be Spain. So your penultimate race will be happening from the Circuit de Barcelona. Join me for that, but until then, it's TTFN, ta-ta for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content from me, and I'll see you again very soon. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care.